So good morning, Thomas.
Ooh, I got an offer.
Damn it, you always start showing off every single time. Now you're sideways.
It's a gift. What can I say? It's actually
You know,
not a curse, just pure gift.
when I added you this morning to the call, for some reason it flashed up. Are you sure you want to add Thomas?
It's like the last time I tried to make a good bid on an item. It was like, so I tried to poach the thing. I made a bid with 1 second and this thing pops up that goes, we like to keep a safe community. And of course, since 1 second goes, I don't have time to click on that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So mad. Thing went for such a good deal. Could have made so much money on it.
Was it on Whatnot?
No, it was on eBay. It was a watch.
You're kind of a watch guy, aren't you?
No, not at all. My friend is a watch guy, like I'd say a low end fancy watch guy. So he likes watches that are between like 1 to 5,000. So this was one that was worth about 5, and it ended at exactly $2,000. But I would have loved to buy it for 2,000 and then sell it for 5 and make myself some money. But
I was
didn't happen.
In the call this morning, before I forget, I was going to ask something. Chris mentioned that he had gone to Lululemon and bought $20,000 worth of stuff from the Lululemon store. Were you on with
that? You say that? I missed that. No.
Yeah, he did. He was talking about, I think it was in the conversation having to do with, you really can't make those kinds of buys at the bins. Bins is good for bread and butter stuff. But if you're going to try to leverage into some higher end stuff.
Is that how he got all that Lululemon? I was wondering about that because there was a bit there where he was just doing these crazy lots of like all Lululemon tops, brand new. It's like, how the heck did you get all these at the bins?
Well, he said he bought $20,000 worth. And so I thought, what would be the math on buying $20,000 worth of stuff at retail sale price?
Wholesale price. Okay. He bought it okay, keep going.
He went to the Lululemon store because they bagged it up in separate bags and didn't have enough bags, so they put it in garbage bags. So he went to the
he didn't get this wasn't a wholesale deal?
No, he went to the Lululemon outlet, from what I understand. And I have heard him say that before. So I guess if you put 20 grand into it, and let's say that you can make 10% on it, maybe that's worth it. But it doesn't sound like the best way to invest $20,000 to make only what you're going to scrape off the top of between being on sale at a Lululemon store and selling it on eBay.
Well, it totally depends. I mean, are you taking that money and immediately wholesaling it to someone else for 22 and you're making 2,000 and you're just driving it across town?
I would wonder if there's that much margin. I'm talking out of my ear because I really don't understand what kind of markdown you might get at Lululemon, and I'm not a Lululemon expert, which brings up another thing. I think, Thomas, I think I'm going to shut my store down for a couple of weeks. I'm going to be gone anyway from the 26th to the 2nd.
You live in Portland, right?
Well, I live in Astoria, which is, down the river from Portland.
Okay, so you're leaving in a week?
Leaving on the 26th.
Okay, so in about 10 days. No, so 14 days. 14 days. So you're in Astoria, leaving on the 26th. What's your address?
Why do you say that? Oh, damn it. Stop it. No, I'm not. You can't. I have someone staying at the house and I imported.
Sure you do. Yeah.
I raise boa constrictors and they run loose on the property. Is it no? What's worse than a boa constrictor?
Feral deer. There's feral deer.
Yeah, not after the boa constrictors get them.
Fetal deer. So
I've surpassed 900 items in the store. 1,000 is kind of my cap, and I'm not doing well. I mean, like over the weekend, I might sell 14 items, this is a slow week and it's summer and yada, yada, yada. But I think that I need to do a hard reset on my
All
store,
right,
which
how many did you sell yesterday?
I have only got like 4.
Okay, so you're at a 0.5% sell through, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm listing 7. But if you talk about what, yeah, 0.5%. So I know I just don't want to keep, I don't want to keep adding to an already bad inventory.
Are
And
you
yet
having,
once
wait, are you having mistakes? Are all the new ones mistakes? Are you not being able to find the ones that sell?
no, why are you asking that? Neither of those is the case.
Well, because if the new ones are fine and you're not having an issue finding the ones that sell, what's the point in shutting the store down? Why don't you just keep the
Because
store
I don't
open?
want, I can't, if you're listing 7 and you quit listing 7, eBay says, whoa, and shuts you down. I don't want to keep throwing more items into a store that is not performing as it should.
But if the new items are fine, what's the problem with it? Why don't you
Because
just go through
I'm
and take up?
ballooning. Well, that and I want some time. So I don't know whether to keep listing, and I have enough in my bank to list for a week or so. So I might just do that. And then I do want to shut it down while I'm gone, because I don't want to come back to a bunch of orders. This is a big deal trip. I'm going to be a zombie when I come back for a couple days.
I don't know. This sounds like some weird cop-out bullshit.
Now that I say it, and it comes out my mouth and bounces off of you, it does sound like a weird cop-out bullshit. So when I do that, there's usually another reason. And I think it's that I feel I'm doing this very poorly right now.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I think I'm doing it poorly. So I'm thinking I might want a hard reset.
Okay, so hold on. What makes you think you're doing it poorly?
Because I'm having difficulty putting up even 10 good listings a day.
Okay,
so
you're putting up 7, right?
Yeah, 7, and then I tried to do is list 20. Listing 7 and banking 13. That did not work because my systems were bad. I was just having errors and problems. Fortunately, I was able to catch them and correct them, so I didn't get any INADs or anything like that. But ones I'm not proud of, listings. So I quit doing that, and I went back, and I've been kind of living off my bank and trying to go back, and I have pictures that aren't listed. I have listings that don't have pictures. This all that kind of crap. So, and in an organized mind, this is really just torture. That I don't, in a control freak kind of wants control, and I feel like it's out of control. Like when I started learning to ski, but didn't know how to set the edge of my ski. But I went down a hill anyway, and crap, I couldn't turn because I couldn't set an edge. I couldn't slow it down.
Okay, you're in a situation that I'm not in. I kind of wish I was in your situation where I was early enough. Kind of wish I was in an early enough situation that I could make this. But you have 900 listings. It's not very many. You go through that in a day. Why don't you go through every single item, like in your stack? Because you know what every item looks like in your boxes. So you could be like, all right, I know that Free People top is cool, but that Ann Taylor one probably needs a redo / straight thrown out. Just do an inventory today. Don't shut anything down. Use your bank. Do basic inventory. Pull out all the crap that sucks. And then you won't feel like you have a crappy store anymore.
Well, I was going to approach it by going back, looking at the listings. I found how it took me a while to figure out how to print a report that shows the item title, because I can tell from the item title, there's a whole bunch that are really bad titles. Mm-hmm. I can look at, so if I print out the item number, the item title, and the category, I'm going to pick up probably half of my mistakes right there.
Good.
Because anyway, I got a plan. We don't need to spend the time on this. Let's talk about the call.
Okay.
How many of the 5 hacks of Chris did we get through? 2. I love this call today. I loved it. It was kind of free. Were you in from the beginning?
I was in from 7 minutes through 20 minutes, and then I had 20-minute break and came back, 25-minute break, and then came back with from 45 to, he's been going way over recently.
Yeah.
He's been going over by about 10 minutes. Maybe he just really doesn't want to have baby time. Who knows? Or wants to show the baby off.
Well, what he said initially was, today it's going to be like your greatest tips and tricks day. I want you to put into the chat, you know, something. And he said, no, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start out with my five greatest tips. I thought, okay, that's a good idea. So he says, number one is he doesn't edit pictures. Oh, that's a good one. And then we kind of went into using a gray background and not using the iPhone, which I want to talk to you about. And then when it got ready to go to number two, a guy had his hand raised. Chris said yes. And the guy said, you know, I just joined you and I really don't know what you're talking about, but I have a question about. And Chris answered it and it completely changed the call.
Yep. Was this the guy who talked about how he had 5,000 items to sell in 10 a day?
I think you came in about that.
Gotcha.
About that
Yep.
time.
I heard that.
And it was a legitimate question. So Chris had said one time, no matter what the topic is, it's just a starter. Feel free to ask any questions you want anytime. So this is a case of when that happened, and it happened to go pretty well. Again, I'm really impressed that he is attempting to introduce some new ideas, even though they may not dominate the whole call. But instead of saying every day is, how long does it take you to list? Because I feel like I'm going to the principal every day. Instead, he does have some good starter topics, and yet he doesn't mind veering off. I think he's gotten to be controlling his group better than he did initially. And the other thing I really like is that he is involving and more beginner people. And as a result, more people who aren't at the Cool Kids table are volunteering to talk. I think because it's, if Thomas talked, he's been doing this for, a number of years, and Michelle and all of the people who know what they're doing, they maybe didn't feel real comfortable, doing that. I know last night on text call, I was really struggling with something, and I was on the call kind of listening, and I thought, well, I'll just ask. So I asked him, I thought, that's a dumbass question. So I immediately texted, this is probably not the forum for answering that question. I'm sorry, I'll rephrase it in the beginner's call. And text on, and he said, no. He said, you got to see some of the questions I get, don't worry about it. So I probably won't do that again, but he made me very comfortable and gave me a one-line answer to a problem I've been having, for like 3 days. And it was that I had listed some things as variations where I had 5 sites.
Yep.
And
I was there. That's such a pain in the butt.
I couldn't get out of it. And his
It's
answer
such
was,
a pain in the butt.
You can't
Yep.
do a new list.
Which is true. That's the absolute answer.
Yeah. And so, they were asking for your own hack. And mine was occasionally do a hard reset, just like you do a reset every day, theoretically, in your store to clear the decks and get, everything lined up. I think that for me, I occasionally need to do a hard reset on my store. But actually, my acronym that I use for my biggest tip, or after doing this for all of 8, 9 months, whatever it is TEC, tech, trial, error, and correct. Trial.
Wow, that's awesome. What a great one there. You really killed it, Sally.
I know, and error, those are the easy parts, but it's really tough sometimes to saddle up the correct pony, and that's where we get lost. We try it doesn't work, so we wander off and try something else that doesn't work, and then we try some instead of correcting. And in essence, doing things quickly is the answer, but quickly and correctly. I'm using my iPhone, and I love the pictures it takes.
Wait, why don't you put an H at the end of tech and just put like hack in there?
Trial, error, correct, happily.
Happily. What's a great food? I couldn't think of a great H food to throw in with the H.
Hamburgers, hot dogs,
Hamburger is better.
trial, error, correct, hamburger.
Have a burger. Have a burger when you're done. Treat yourself.
You know, names are funny. Once I was, years ago, I was talking to my son and I said, you know, I'm thinking about, I could open a restaurant. And I said, I think this is before sports bars became really popular. And I said, I think that I could open like a grill and a bar and represent a sport. He said, well, what sport would you represent? And I said, you know, I would want it to be all inclusive. And I said, you'd have to have it. I said, I got it, balls. And he said, Mom, you can't open up a bar called Balls. But I kind of slipped into that, you know, just kind of naturally. I'd have probably opened up a bar called Balls because I wanted to represent everything. I don't know why.
Everything. Because everybody loves balls.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Dogs love balls for any number of reasons. So anyway, it's kind of reflective, Sally, today, looking at what I could see in Bill's eyes when I'm talking to him, just kind of bouncing stuff off about maybe putting the store on hold. And his eyes were saying, are you tired of doing this? Because if you are, you don't have to do it anymore. The answer is absolutely not. I'm not tired of. I'm tired of doing it not as well as I know I could. And
Doing it poorly.
yeah, well, yeah, I don't think I'm doing it poorly. I have an awfully nice shop. I can find anything in the shop. I think my pictures are good, but I have grown beyond, you know, I'm just, my new listings are selling. That's the other thing. Once in a while I'll sell some old stuff, but generally my new listings are selling, which means
That's how it works.
I have price in line and that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's all. How are your sales? Are they okay? They might have been kind of crappy the last few days.
Not great.
Yeah.
Below average, I'd say.
I sure hope that, you know, the great third quarter, you know, comes thundering through. I tell you, I am selling weird school stuff like backpacks. I told you, with ponies and princesses and stuff on them.
I once sold a backpack that had wings on it, like physical wings that stuck out of it for $100.
I want it. Maybe I can, that'll be the thing that I'll make. I'm going to do it. I can make wings. I can sew wings, put them on the backpack.
But no one cares about.
Oh, you know what? You're not going to believe this. New offer. Disney Princess backpack. It just came in now. Okay.
Love it.
I wish I could sell, evidently the universe is listening. I want to sell those old Nike shoes. All right. If we have an offer come in, then I'm going to be really spooked.
Mm-hmm. Then it's
I
real.
was wondering, did you make the offer on the Disney Princess backpack just because I said it?
I did. Hey.
Go buy the Disney Princess backpack.
Hey, Disney. I got a little pee on it.
You got a
just
little
kidding.
pee on it? Don't, you know, you get a little pee on anything.
It's not on the backpack.
Yeah, not on the backpack. Hey, we're trying to think of some place to go neat within the continental US in December, just for a getaway trip. And I'm thinking, Bill brought up Charleston because I dearly love the food in Charleston.
You've been there?
Yes.
I went there in January once, and I walked around I don't know, like the areas, but it was one of the areas, like downtown. It's all these massive houses that look like sharecropper houses, but it's one after another, right on the water. This beautiful neighbor, like one of the nicest neighborhoods probably in America, right?
Were they all different colors?
I don't know. I walked through it at night and it was overcast and really bad. Probably different colors. Yeah.
Are you
Anyways.
I want to tell you something about the houses in Charleston. Do you know why in those districts are all different colors? Because back in the days of slavery, they did not want the slaves to read. So they painted the houses and the businesses different colors. And that's kind of a throw for that. Anyway, go ahead. You walked down there and it was beautiful.
It's a good thing to think about. So I was in Charleston for a sheep convention. And I was in college going to Cornell. So at this sheep convention, there were breaks and you could go downtown. And I was walking around this part of town alone. So I had like a fake Carhartt jacket, just some other brand. And since I was cool, I had skinny jeans and Vans on. So I looked super awesome. But in this part of in this part of town, it's all summer homes because no one, that has these multi-million-dollar homes is going to be there. So I'm walking around. It's really like disgusting out. I'm the only person walking around. And I'm just like, these houses are amazing. All of a sudden, boom, bike cop right in front of me. Like, hey, dude, what's up? And I'm like, nothing. Just walking around, which is the most sketchy thing someone could say, right? And they're like, well, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm just visiting. I'm at a convention and I'm just admiring all these houses. Again, one of the sketchiest things you could say, but that's what I said. And they're like, okay, well, like, what are you here for? Do you have any information? So I like pull out and I've got my lanyard on and then I give them my Cornell ID and none of this is checking out. These guys are like, what? And then another guy pulls up, got a cop car going now. We got the lights on, things are real. And the verdict was just like, hey, so like, I don't know what you're doing here, but like, could you just leave? And I was like, all right, cool. So I just like walked up the street back to the shuttle
I
and went
wouldn't have
back.
done it. How long ago was that?
Over 10 years ago.
That'd piss me off so badly I couldn't see straight. I'd probably wind up in jail. None of your
Yeah,
effing business would come out of my mouth.
I was rather taken aback. But at the same time, I didn't really know how to handle it. So I handled it, like any normal person would. Nowadays, I'd be like, no.
What's it to you? Why?
Yeah,
Why?
I'm going to walk around this neighborhood because you guys have a nice place. And this is awesome to look at. I'm from Michigan, guys. Simmer down. Things would be fine. Not a big deal.
Absolutely, because you would have responded like an adult would, because you didn't challenge them. I think they probably thought you were guilty of something, because anybody who's not guilty would say, what's it to you? Get off leave me alone. Go chase a jaywalker.
Get on your own porch.
Yeah.
What I should have done is just walked into one of the houses.
I love Charleston. They have something in Charleston called the Bird of Prey Sanctuary. Did I ever tell you about the Bird of Prey Sanctuary?
No, but that sounds lit.
Bill said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go to the Bird of Prey because they have a vulture buffet. They have 1 million restaurants in Charleston, and the restaurants put their garbage out in sacks, and the Bird of Prey people come get it, and they line up these fold-up tables, like 50 of them in a long line, and they put all of the leftovers from the restaurants on it, and the vultures know that that's going to happen. And so all of a sudden, they're just vultures coming down eating all this stuff. So I even made up a song, vultures, vultures, everybody loves vultures, 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 they're our friends. Bill said if I sang it anymore, he was going to divorce me. So you go to the Bird of Prey thing and you can see the vultures eating the garbage. And I had an eagle land on my head. Fortunately, didn't. Yeah, because they had a demonstration where they had an eagle thing. And,
okay, gotcha.
Eagles have really long talons. So you really don't want
really long talons.
Yeah, mine was, I lied. It wasn't an eagle, it was an eaglet, a little raptor. Anyway, that was a really good thing. But the food, I wasn't used to grits and cheese, shrimp and grits and cheese and stuff. And when the first place we stopped at, I ordered this, shrimp and grits thing. And I said, oh my God, we're coming back here every single day because this is the best thing I've every restaurant in Charleston.
Everywhere, yeah.
So we took a restaurant tour and we went we went to maybe a dozen restaurants and went back and talked with the chef, and at every one they gave us food and talked about their thing. And I learned about iced tea vodka. I can't remember what it was. There's a name for it, but it's a vodka that tastes like iced tea. Drank way too much of that. But anyway, so I'm thinking of that. I thought about Florida, but it's just going to be, it's terribly expensive to go do, Harry Potter. We've done it all.
Yeah, no,
so,
the,
Where's it
the pl-
warm?
in December, not Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah.
The place, so the number one place I want to go right now, because I'm weird. Have you ever been to the aquarium in Atlanta?
No.
Okay. So I went to the Osaka Aquarium in Japan, and it was one of the most like just amazing. It was one of the craziest experiences of my life
Were
because
all those fish terrified because they eat sushi all the time? Were they terrified?
exactly. None of them are, they're all in the middle of the
Yeah.
cage. They're all, yeah. Because there is this enormous tank, right? One of the biggest tanks in the world. I think probably second to this one in Atlanta. And there is not one, but two whale sharks in the tank, obviously at all times.
What's a
So
whale
this,
shark?
what's a whale shark?
You mean, is it like a whale who got frisky with a shark and they had a shark whale baby?
Go type in whale shark.
All right, I'm going to do it right now. Whale shark, because I think you make up this stuff and then you wait for me to challenge you. Whale shark. It comes up and says, Thomas is lying. Oh, look, God, they have huge mouths, don't they?
Get a good idea of how big they are.
It says a whale shark is a slow-moving, filter-feeding carpet shark. That's what we used to call my dog, because she had really short legs and we called her the carpet shark. Things to know. The lifespan.
Go to images. See how big
Okay,
they
it had
are.
a length of 18.8 meters. So my God, 60 feet long.
Yeah. There's two of them in the tank. Two of them.
Oh.
So this was like, it was incredible, right? My mind is just blown. And when you move around this whole aquarium, there's all these smaller tanks that are still amazing, but you're walking around this giant one on different levels. So you're seeing it from all these different angles. I think I was in there for 4 or 5 hours, just mind blown, just watching these things. After a while, I started taking videos and then narrating the videos, which I had a really good time. So I can go
Do
back
voices
and like,
do voices for the whale sharks. What kind of
that's
voice would a
exactly
whale
what I
shark?
did. Exactly what I did. I could send them together, pretty funny. But the
Do you
one in
know,
Atlanta,
hold on. Do you know that it says here, way too much information. They whalefish do not use their teeth, so they
yeah, of
cannot
course.
bite humans or kill them. Listen, neither can they eat dead human flesh. Why do they have to put that in there? Neither can they eat dead. I don't care.
I think they're
So
really like, they're like, they don't eat people. They don't even eat dead people. They're really not into people.
yeah.
Anyways, so the one in Atlanta has an even bigger tank than this one in Osaka. And even though it doesn't have the charm of being in Japan and eating whale shark ice cream, like my mind was blown the first time. I know it would still be blown the second time. I want to see
Well,
it so bad.
maybe that's a good idea. I need to go someplace. I'd really like to go back to the Smithsonian bit, because we went just as COVID broke out and we got the heck out of there fast before we got to see everything we wanted to. But I'm trying to think of someplace, and I love to go to Boston and go visit places there, but December is just kind of a crappy time.
Have you been to Carlsbad Caverns?
No. I'm about this much claustrophobic.
Type in Carlsbad.
Where is it? California, isn't it?
Yeah, California. I think Southern California. I don't know.
Carlsbad Caverns National Park. I know you never want to go to the Sea Lion Caves along the Oregon coast. God, it stinks. Okay, what about it? I've got it in there.
Just go to
Carlsbad
images.
Canyon. It's in the Chihuahuan Desert of southern New
Yeah,
Mexico.
you got to look out. A lot of small dogs there.
Yeah, ankle biters. Wear boots. Wear boots. You know, on my bucket list, I won't be able to do it this
Go to
time.
images. You just skipped it. Carlsbad Caverns. Go to images.
Oh my gosh. That's really neat.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there's
Which
very,
is the-
very, very few moments that are like claustrophobic.
You know the difference between a stalactite and a stalagmite?
Yep.
What is it?
Stalagmites come from the ceiling, stalactites go from the ground.
Wrong. And the way you remember it is stalactite for top. That's how I remembered it in school because it was a test one time.
So it's the opposite. So stalactite is top. God
Yeah,
darn it.
stalactite is the top.
Okay, so it's still, so a mite is a mat. Stalagmat. Got it.
Okay. Oh, this is kind of cool. You know, that's a good idea. I really like to go to the Native American ruins, and there's a lot of that in New Mexico. Huh. Maybe I'll do that. Hey, by the way, our time is up for today, and we did not ever get to watchability or takeaways.
Well, I'm gonna rate it out of 5 because I only saw half the call. So I'd give it a 3.5.
On watchability, for me, it was probably a 6 or a 7 in there. It was very, nobody dominated it. It didn't go so far off the rails. And there were some interesting reveals. Chris talked about his wife learning the hack of, you know, how to untie this. That was really cool. And
What
I
was
just
it?
wanted, well, he bought all of these things at Lululemon, and they came in bags, and they had really, you know how they'll have the strings and they'll tie them so tight you can't open them up, so you wind up cutting them off. Well, his wife said, maybe there's another way. And he said, well, no, just cut them off. So he said, no, wait a minute. She Googled it, and if you twist the sack until it gets really firm at the bottom, twist it, then you can push it through the string. And so he were able to save all of these sacks. I thought that was kind of interesting. And I wanted to type GTS, you know what that means. My answer to everything. Google that stuff. So when somebody doesn't know something, GTS. So that anyway, I found it, you know, some new things came out. I'm still not quite sure how he started a store, sold things for $1, made enough money to, you know, within 30 days to be making 1,000 a day or something like that. I'll have to look at that again. So on me, that it would be really good. On takeaways, again, you know, the bag trick alone was a good takeaway. So I would say, do you play the piano?
I did back in the day.
Well, you're
I
doing
stopped
piano.
in 8th grade.
You're doing piano keys on your knees.
Yeah, it feels nice.
I would don't talk about that stuff. I would give it takeaways. You know, it's good 5, but great takeaways. I'm still kind of, you know, mulling around in my own kind of mess here, but the takeaways were pretty good. And the tech call last night was pretty good.
So it's about twice as watchable for you as it was for me.
Yeah. Again, you know, we're looking at 2 perspectives. You having done this for as long as you have and being comfortable with the whole process, and me having done a relatively short time and, you know, not
I was
having
just making a bad joke because I rated mine out of 5 and you rated yours out of 10.
Yeah.
So my 3.5 is the same as your 7.
Oh, you told me we were always going to rate it from 1 to 10.
I said I was going to rate it out of 5 because I only saw half the call.
Don't change in the middle of stuff. We made a deal. It's 1 out of 10. Thomas, if there's anybody left watching this video, I apologize for all our meanderings this morning, but that's life with Thomas and Sally. So
There you go.
see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.